It is officially one of my favorite times of the entire year, and that is Apple season. Now we are fresh off the iPhone 16 launch, and I obviously picked this up. And I actually have some pretty strong thoughts about this, and I think some people actually have it all wrong when it comes to the new iPhones. So I wanna give you guys some of my first impressions now that I've had this for a couple days. But also, the phone isn't the only thing I picked up. So obviously I got the new iPhone, but the model I went with is the 512 gigabyte iPhone 16 Pro Max in that new Desert Titanium colorway. And this phone is absolutely gorgeous. And then in addition to that, I had to pick up the brand new AirPods 4. These are the ones with active noise cancellation, and I definitely have some thoughts on these already, but you guys know I love my AirPods. And then last but certainly not least is the brand new Apple Watch Ultra 2 in that black titanium colorway. I got it on my wrist right now, and I am obsessed with this thing. So yeah, let's talk about these real quick. Okay, so I wanna give you guys some of my first impressions and overall thoughts on the new iPhone, and we'll touch on the other things as well. If you guys follow me on my other socials, you saw me unbox the new iPhone just a couple days ago. I might even throw the vertical over here, but I figured I'd just briefly touch on the unboxing experience. The iPhones are pretty simple these days. Whenever you open up the box, you literally just have the iPhone, your braided USB-C cable, which is a really nice cable, and then now you literally just have two pieces of paper with kind of like the safety and handling. You no longer need a SIM card thing, and that's it. That's all that's in the box. So it's honestly a pretty simple unboxing these days, but I mean, come on, we're here for the phone. That's all that really matters. But speaking of the phone, the iPhone 16 definitely seems to have a little bit of controversy around it right now. Now, I don't agree with the hate that this phone's getting. I think a lot of people are questioning why would anyone upgrade to this if you have the 15? This is the same phone as the ones previously. I have a couple thoughts about that. You have a large group of people in the world, right, that don't need to upgrade phones every single year. They don't use a bunch of these new features, and any sort of incremental upgrade, they might not even really notice. Then you have people kind of in my category, right, that are full-time creators. They use their iPhone every single day for business, or even use their phone to shoot content, videos, photos, whatever it might be. And that's becoming a larger and larger group of people every single year. And not to mention now that pretty much every carrier out there, including Apple themselves, have these trade-in programs. I use the Apple trade-in program now, where every single year you can upgrade to the new phone. So if that's something that's actually really important to you, it's pretty easy, and it really doesn't cost you much to upgrade every year. But I do fully recognize that this might not have a ton of change for the everyday person, and that's also okay. But I want to talk about the things that I'm most excited about with the new iPhones for myself and how I use my phone. The first thing is going to be improved battery life. I think that's something that everyone can agree on, that they wish and they hope that their iPhone has a better battery life, especially with the new chip that's inside the phone this year. It should make a pretty big difference, and it's something I'm going to keep my eye on. But literally, since using it for, I think today, let's see, I got it on Friday, today is Monday. I've been using it for 4 days now. It seems like a pretty big difference, and that's something I'm really stoked about. The next thing, and probably my favorite feature, is the upgraded ultra wide camera. Now I use the 0.5 camera more than any other of them, whether I'm shooting video clips or I'm shooting photos. Even if I'm taking a photo for Instagram stories, I'm usually taking a 0.5, and I just love that lens. So even if that is an incremental upgrade, that's a big difference for me. And even with the photos I've taken so far with it, I personally do see a difference. It's pretty crispy, and I think a lot of different creators, and honestly anyone out there, is going to be pretty happy with that. Now the next one, which I understand why people might have a certain feeling about it, is all of the Apple Intelligence features coming to this phone, and that's kind of the key part there. Coming to this phone. I think for the first time that at least I can remember, Apple launched a phone with features that aren't in it quite yet, but will be. I think they come out starting next month. I see why that can rub people the wrong way that they're not out yet, but the way that I'm looking about it, just because I'm stoked about the things, I genuinely think it's going to be a game changer for how we use our phones, especially being in the creative space. And even some of the things they previewed, like being able to search through your email, asking different questions, or even having Apple Intelligence be able to rewrite a paragraph for you, but with a different tone, like you want it to sound more professional, you want it to sound nicer. Whatever the case is, I think we're just scratching the surface with what Apple Intelligence is going to be, and that's definitely something I'm going to talk about more and more as it comes out. So definitely more on that to come in the future. And then obviously with the new iPhone 16s, there is one clear difference between this and the models previously, and that is going to be the new camera control on the phone. They're not calling it a button, but it's a button. So I'm just going to call it the camera control button. All right. Now you guys probably have seen this already, but whenever you hit that camera control, it's going to instantly open up your camera. This is a great angle of me. But it's really cool because you can press it, but then you can double tap it and it's gonna give you different options. Like here, you can zoom in and out, double tap it again, and you can switch between depth of field, photographic styles, all these different things. So again, someone who uses their phone genuinely as a camera on a daily basis, this is a really nice kind of quality of life feature. And I've already found myself using it in this first few days. So I absolutely love that. Now, speaking of the camera control button, this video is not sponsored, but I did just come out with my brand new Lightroom preset pack designed specifically with the new iPhones involved, or truthfully, any iPhone or phone. This preset pack comes with 10 fully custom presets that I use genuinely on a daily basis. No matter if you're shooting standard photos or even Apple Pro RAW, these presets are going to look great. You guys went absolutely crazy with my last Lightroom preset pack, so especially with these new iPhones coming out and more people are taking good quality photos with their phones, these couldn't have dropped at a better time. So first link down in the description. It's a great way to support me in this channel, so I'm telling you, go pick them up. Now, since the iPhone wasn't the only thing that came out that day, I do briefly want to talk about the Apple Watch Ultra decision, why I decided to pick this thing up. I've been wearing this now on my wrist for the past 4 days nonstop, and I'm telling you, I love this thing so much. I personally am coming from the Apple Watch Series 4. I just didn't really see the need to upgrade for quite a while. I wasn't really utilizing a lot of the features on the watch, but I told myself this year was the year I'm upgrading no matter what. I think some people were looking for an Ultra 3, but instead they kept the Ultra 2, but they came out with that black titanium color, and I absolutely love it. So far, absolutely no scratches or anything on it. I think it looks great, kind of fits my vibe and aesthetic pretty good. I think truthfully, I think it looks kind of nice with tattoos as well. Now you might be wondering, why did I pick the Ultra over the Series 10? Really, the main decision of getting a new watch in general was I'm trying to put my health a lot more in the forefront right now, especially since going full time over the past few months. I'm able to kind of now dictate my days and weeks a little bit more how I want to, and fitness is a really huge part of that. So especially since I've been running a lot more, I'm tracking a lot more of my workouts and even what I'm eating. That was a huge piece in this. And then specifically when you talk about the Ultra, I love that it has just an absolutely insane battery life compared to the other Apple Watches. I went my first 3 days without charging this, and that's even including wearing it at night. So extremely impressed so far. And then also, especially since I do so many things outside, being able to have an extremely bright screen was one of the big difference makers for myself. So the health tracking, as well as some of the new sleep tracking things coming as well, like the sleep apnea detection, etc. This thing is gonna help me kind of stay on track with a lot of my goals. And legit, I love this thing so far. I'm so happy with my decision. And then we cannot forget about the AirPods Generation 4. Now, if you have ever watched any piece of content from me or watched, previous EDC videos, or honestly pretty much any video, I talk about AirPods all the time because I use them all the time. Probably second most piece of tech used compared to my iPhone. These new ones come in a couple different options. This is the higher tier model that has active noise cancellation. And as you guys can see, these AirPods do not have the little tips that go in your ear. And I know a good amount of people that actually aren't a fan of the style of headphones that have the tip that go in your ear. Those are obviously very good for noise cancellation because, they kind of suction off the outside world. But now these have active noise cancellation, which means they also have transparency mode. And I've actually been pretty impressed with it so far. They don't sound quite as good as the AirPods Pro that have the tips. I mean, you literally have space around these in your ear, so I don't think they're ever gonna be as good, but they're pretty impressive. So if you're looking for an alternative to the Pros, this is a really good option. And the transparency mode sounds great as well. I use it all the time for walking around downtown, or maybe you go into Chipotle, you order some food, you can actually hear the person you're talking to. And I actually just flew home in these last night from San Diego, and they felt really comfortable. And the noise cancellation was plenty for being on a plane. And now these also feature Find My, so if you lose track of them, they have a built-in speaker that you can hit play and it can play a sound so you can help track them down. Not to mention, these are so small. Like, look how small this case is compared to the Pros, significantly smaller. So really great option. Stay tuned for more thoughts on these in the future. I wanna use these and honestly everything I've talked about in this video a little bit longer before I give my stamp of approval, but definitely pretty impressed so far. I think a great alternative to the Pros. But guys, that is really just kind of my first thoughts on the new iPhone 16, as well as the Ultra and the new AirPods. I have so many content ideas of what I want to cover with these devices, but please, I want to hear your guys' feedback too. Let me know know down in the comments below what you want to see from me. I've already gotten a lot of requests for a day in the life, maybe a week in the life, which are definitely things I'm planning on doing. And also I'm curious to know if you guys decide to upgrade iPhones this year, or if you're gonna skip and hold out for the 17. Make sure you drop this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. If you decide to support me and pick up that preset pack, definitely tag me in your photos so I can reshare some, or at least send you a personal thank you. I'm really stoked on those, but more coming very, very soon. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.